Well, hello there, cowpokes. Welcome back to RimWorld Rawhide. We are still dealing with the toxic plague the Lord has punished us with on this land. As you can see, the plague is very awful when it goes into your lungs and murders you from the inside out. So we had most of our time spent indoors, smoothing walls and mining out the caverns of this mountain. We wanted to make sure the place looked nice and pretty for the people that we planned on kidnapping during our raids and brainwashing into being our friends. Finally, after some time, the plague dissipated and the air was no longer a disgusting green. However, shortly thereafter, we had a group of man-hunting guinea pigs coming at us. Now them there guinea pigs were wilder than hell, but a few bullets to the old cranium put them straight in the ground. Sometime later, we had a group of alpacas join us, just like the original colony of the leather capital. We now have alpacas to ride around on and get their wool and all kinds of great stuff. I was so excited about this. A little bit after that, we noticed a logging site being done by a local tribe, and we decided to raid it. We were less excited about lumber and more excited about people that we could kidnap and turn into prisoners and eventually brainwash them into being our buddies where they could help us raid a few more sites like this and continue upping our numbers. After we returned home with our prisoner and our trophies of war, we had a man named Lucky offering to join us. We promptly accepted. As I said, we were looking to up our body count, so... Once we started patching up the wounds our prisoner had, we went ahead and changed it over so we would start recruiting them. Some time passed and we ended up having a poker table and a billiards table in that same room. Things were getting spruced up quite nicely and everybody seemed to really enjoy it. But that happiness would not last as we were now being raided once again. Lucky for us, there were only two of the tribe's people raiding our lands, so after we gut shot one of them and left them dead there in the dirt, the other one took off running to the borders of our land to try and escape and tell his tribe what had happened. Tribe's people were not the only issue in this land. Late one night, an ostrich had a fit and tried to murder us. Then, of course, we had another massive manhunting group of guinea pigs coming into our area. Luckily, though, we had a trader who was here, and they would mostly deal with the problem on their own as we hid inside our nice rock cave. A few days later, though, we were being raided again by tribespeople. We hid around the corner where some traps laid. Luckily, two tribespeople got caught in the traps and died instantly, and then the others took off running once again to tell their tribe what massacre had happened here. And after days of talking to him and trying to recruit him, we finally recruited the prisoner from that logging camp that we had rescued. And since we were getting so many raids, I decided we should probably build some defenses, so we set up a little sandbag area with some traps. And we also had a little asshole fox trying to eat one of our baby alpaca. We were a bit too slow though, we did end up killing the fox, but it was shortly after he murdered our baby alpaca. R.I.P. buddy. But at least we would get to see our defenses in action as we were being raided once again. So we mounted up our cavalry and hid behind our sandbags. The tribe's people came a-running, but our bullets whizzed right at them and went through them like a thing of gelatin, which I don't think was created during this time. So it was more like a thing of lard. But anyhow, we defeated them and they went on the run again. Luckily, not all of them died, though, and we ended up getting a prisoner. Now, that prisoner was kind of feisty, though, so we had to beat the crap out of him next to his prison cell and then toss him back in there. He was a tough old cat, though. It took 3 of us to do it. Now, after some time passed, everybody was good to go. We decided to go ahead and raid another logging site nearby. It took us a little while to get there, but shortly after arriving, we mounted our alpaca and our ostrich, and we went in guns blazing, and we shot everything that we saw. The tribespeople held their own fairly well, though, as they always do. If there's one thing that these tribespeople are, it is honorable and powerful warriors. Of course, they stood no chance against us though, and we even got to take one home as a prisoner once again. I thought that the prisoner would make a wonderful addition to the team. It is also worth mentioning at this time that the U.S. Marshal Service in the area was becoming a bit angry with us. Could it have been all the raids on the local indigenous people? Most likely. But they didn't seem angry enough to put a stop to it or anything like that at this time, so it would appear we didn't have anything to worry about. For now. But speaking of things to worry about, we had another massive tribal raid. One of them appeared to be a chieftain who was wearing plate armor. That would not help him though, as our bullets should be able to surpass that quite easily, but they were coming at us in much larger numbers now. They had so many people they started to rush us, which actually ended up pushing us back a bit, and they were actually in our dining hall. And we had to come around the corner through the other side of the mountain, and we kind of snuck in on them and just started laying the lead to them and murdering them. They eventually fled from this, and then Coyote and another one of our people decided to sit by the table amongst the bodies and eat a meal and drink a beer. He also felt it a good time as we were cleaning up the blood and rubble and guts and bodies to go ahead and play us a little tune on the piano that was in the dining hall. I'm not gonna lie, it was a nice little song, and I think it really motivated everybody. Some time later, our poor ostrich hit one of our traps and died from it, unfortunately. But his death would not go in vain, as nothing goes in vain or to waste out in the West, and we actually slaughtered him and ate him. Some time after that, two of our bandits, Roberio and Frog, fell in love. So I went ahead and started working on a bed for them both to sleep in together. Ah, young love between the bandits. All we had to make the bed out of, though, was stone, so I couldn't imagine it being too comfortable for what they had planned, but oh well. Some time later, in the middle of the night, we had another raid of tribespeople, believe it or not, who were coming to try and murder us. We would be ready, of course. We gathered around the defenses and began firing off bullets, slaughtering them one by one. And then shortly after that happened, of course, we took what prisoners we could and started to, quote, rehabilitate them. At this point, we actually had 3 prisoners, so this would be amazing for upping our ranks in the near future as well. We had also been sending out quite a few caravans of about 2 people or so to trade goods with a local tribe that was actually friendly with us. This, in turn, would give us goods to fight off the tribes that were attacking us and would help them with their economic growth, doing the same for them. It was a win-win situation, if you will. Unfortunately, though, some time later, we had a great big group of huskies that had just lost their minds and came to murder us. Thankfully, though, we had a friendly group of visitors around for them to munch on. These visitors, though, were bandits from the Lawbreaker gang, so they knew how to handle a dog, and they ended up winning. And we end this episode on a happy note. We recruited the last of our 3 prisoners that we had. Their name was Chicken. And Chicken would actually be very helpful when, we went to raid Chicken's people. Well, Chicken's original tribe that Chicken came from. But we are going to go ahead and call it an episode, guys. How do you like the series so far? Do you like the idea now that we're coming from a leather trading cowboy gang to bandits? I like the idea of this. I think it's really fun. The mountain hideout could use a little work, but I like the way it's coming along and everything's looking. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and I really appreciate you. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Goodbye.